Well, Growers Edge, I think, has made us more money by allowing me to survey the local bids that I'm in the area that I want to sell my grain. The local elevators and the ethanol plants know that this information is out there, so they've got to be competitive if they want to get the grain. You know, we've been able to maximize our return on our farm.
Good afternoon and welcome to GrainTV. It's October 7th, 2013. To my left is Logan Burgess and I'm Brock Shimbino. We saw some strength in the grain complex today. Let's start with a fire tip to see how we ended. Corn was up 6 cents, soybeans up 1.5 cents, wheat in Chicago up 7 3/4, and Kansas City wheat was up 6 1/4 cents here again today.
Yeah, you know, Brock, once again here to start the week, we saw continued strength out of the wheat market, especially when we compare it to the trade that we saw in corn and soybeans for much of the day. Kind of helping that wheat market move higher today was some new tenders released by Bangladesh, Jordan, and Iraq. There's a good chance the U.S. could win some of that business. We've seen it be more competitive here in recent weeks. Another thing that was helping out the wheat market was some production concerns out of the Black Sea region. Russia in particular, they've been having a very wet fall there, and there's concerns about lost production due to seeding that hasn't been going along as planned. And now you add on a weaker dollar index as well to what's happening here. Really three factors that helped wheat today trade higher here once again and kind of continue the strength that we've seen there. Soybeans, if we stay on the production side a little bit, we did have some concerns out of seeding in Mato Grosso, their top soy producing state, and we saw that reflected a little bit in the spreads here today for soybeans, strength out of March and May, but really for corn and soybeans, a relatively light trade, and kind of the big focus was the lack of information that we've been getting right now.
You know, and we actually got some word from the USDA. They sent out an email today that they will be postponing the report on Friday.
Right.
The earliest that they could possibly do it is about 10 days after the government reopens. So we're looking at quite a period of time before we get that report.
Yeah.
You know, other reports were delayed today as well. We're not going to get the crop progress report. We also didn't get export inspections or official export inspection numbers. We did get the USDA Federal Grain Inspection Service actually did put some numbers out today as it pertains to export inspections. What they were estimating was about 25 million bushels of corn were exported last week, about 30 million bushels in both corn and, wheat and soybeans. So another good, you know, if those numbers are right around what the USDA would have shown, is pretty strong export inspection numbers.
Right.
But if we turn our attention to the analyst estimates for the report that we would have had on Friday, it is going to be delayed. If we take a look at this table here, you can see that production is actually estimated to be downgraded just a little bit from what the USDA had in September, although the yield for corn is actually a little bit higher than what they had in what the USDA showed in September. The reason for the overall production downgrade there is that 1 million acres were taken or estimated to be taken off of the harvested acreage for corn. So that's a big number that we're going to have to watch once the report is released. For soybeans, just a slight uptick in overall production. That's mostly due to a higher yield. But again, the harvested acres look to be cut by about 450,000 acres for soybeans as well. So we're looking at some substantial cuts to the harvested acreage coming up.
Yeah, you know, it's really hard to speculate right now exactly what obviously the USDA would say on Friday, but we're in kind of a strange circumstance right now with all these government sites shut down, not reporting on things from export sales to just the basic progress of harvest as it's carrying on here. Estimates for today's harvest progress were 20% done on corn, 22% completed on soybeans, so certainly we could continue to see some harvest pressure on this market. But overall, it seems like the theme here so far as we move through this government shutdown is that we've seen a weaker dollar index, and in general, that's helped out commodities a little bit. We would expect that to continue here kind of in an environment where we don't have a lot of information. The one big thing to keep in mind is that a lot of people are now looking at the October 17th debate over the debt ceiling as kind of the critical point where this issue may be resolved. And if there is market concern that there may be a default on U.S. obligations on the 17th, then it's kind of a whole different ballgame. We're talking about major demand-side concerns, and that would weigh on the grains. But right now, you know, it really seems like the grains seem comfortable just kind of drifting higher here in an environment where we don't get a lot of the reports that we're used to.
If you have any questions about what we talked about today, give us a call, 877-472-4607. Of course, follow us on Twitter, @GrainTV is where you can find us there. We'll be tweeting any information that comes across the newswires, or check us out on Facebook.
Have a good day.